Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Donna. This is my first video, and on this video I'm going to share with you what we're going to be talking about in the upcoming videos. My videos are related to cancer. I am a 6-time cancer survivor, and I want to share my journey with you. About 19 years ago, when I had my first cancer, I recall going to, chemo and radiation, and it was difficult to see all the sad people that were going through the same thing. I used to sit there and, want to talk to everybody and try and make everybody feel better, but, that's kind of my way. I like to talk. But anyway, it was at that time that I decided that I was going to write a book. Well, as the years have gone on, I've never been able to finish the book. It is about 3/4 of the way done. My son said to me when I found out that I had ovarian cancer, he said to me, he says, Mom, he says, don't feel so bad. Look at all the new material you keep getting, for your book. Right. Yep. He meant well, and it did make me laugh, but of course I didn't want more cancer. But anyway, most recently, when he heard me on the phone talking to some people about cancer, and he knows how I always share what it is that I do. Anybody asks me, I will tell them. I'll tell them about the diet I keep. I'll tell them about the things that I've researched and what I've learned, along the way that has kept me living a very healthy, happy, pain-free, life. So he said to me, he said, instead of worrying about finishing that book, he said, why don't you take it to YouTube? I said, what? YouTube? What the heck? I don't even know how to turn a camera on. And let me tell you, using a camera right now and talking into it, I find that very difficult. I prefer some communication with people to talk back. But anyway, so I gave it a lot of thought. Then I went out and I bought this book, YouTube for, YouTube channels for dummies. Well, I've looked at the book. I've read much of it. I can honestly say I'm still a dummy, but I thought I would give it a try. So that's what brought me to YouTube, and that's what I'm doing. Unfortunately or fortunately, whatever, my videos will not be able to be edited. So whatever I say, it's because I don't know how to edit. I just learned how to turn the camera on. But anyway, let me tell you about a few things that I'm going to just share with you. There is a list of nutrients that I make sure that I get every single day. And I'm going to share all those, with you. None of them are difficult. You obviously are getting these nutrients through food and through supplements. Very, very, very easy diet. Yeah, in the beginning, sometimes perhaps you want to, have that bowl of ice cream or something like that. And, you kind of have to weigh it. If you eat, too much sugar and one thing, then, you really got to cut back, because there's nothing that cancer loves more than sugar. Man, you eat some sugar and let that go down in you, and they're happy little campers, and they just start developing and going crazy, those cells. So anyway, I'm going to share some of those things that I eat and how I eat. I'm going to share those with you. Then, when I learn how to get this camera into my kitchen, I'm going to share some recipes with you. I've created a bunch of recipes that I think are really good, and I want to share some of those with you. And anyway, and I hope you're going to enjoy those. I am also going to tell you about a clinic in Mexico. I had signed up for a 3-week treatment. It was in Mexico. It was a cancer clinic. And unfortunately, after a few days, I fell. My blood pressure had dropped, and I fell. And I ended up in the hospital in Cancun, Mexico. I was operated on there, and I stayed in the hospital. And the treatment I got, you know, people are amazed when I tell them my story about that, because it was so good. Everybody was so, you know, good to me. And, you know, I did end up coming home in a wheelchair. I was in a wheelchair maybe for a month and a half, and, you know, then off to therapy for quite a while. But I do put my high heels back on now. That was a few years ago. But anyway, at that treatment center, I learned so much in such a short time. And also, having to go home early like I did, they did send me home with a bunch of information about things that I can do, you know, at home to take care of myself. And many of those I'm going to share with you. One of the things I'm going to talk about that I learned through the clinic is well, first of all, is light therapy. Oh my gosh, do I believe in light therapy? I'll tell you, you know, once I had a crown put in, and it was for a long time, this bone, because it was way in the back, this bone was killing me so much. So finally I thought, well, you know what? My light therapy seems to work on everything else. I'm going to try it on my, you know, on my jawline here and so forth. I couldn't believe how it works. I don't use my light therapy all the time anymore. The only time is, you know, if I'm out in the garden, you know, on my hands and knees, you know, working for too long or something like that. So I basically use it. Or I do have nothing to do with cancer, but in my shoulder, I have a bone on bone, and sometimes that gives me, you know, some trouble when I'm doing things that I probably shouldn't be doing. But anyway, I really believe in light therapy, so I want to share those mats with you that I have. Another thing that I have that I learned from the cancer clinic is a PEMF mat. It's pulse electromagnetic field therapy, and I really think that's a fabulous one too. I'm going to, you know, all these things I have to learn how to get the camera to it. So if anybody wants to send me an email, tell me how to do it, that would be fine. But anyway, the mat, I like to describe the mat as rejuvenation of the cells. As a matter of fact, if I can't sleep, like many of us can't sleep sometimes, you know, we have difficulty. Sometimes I'll get out of bed, turn this mat on for like 5 minutes, lay on it. I don't know what the heck it does, but then I get back in bed and I go right to sleep. But anyway, I want to share that with you as well. You know, I want to back up a little bit and tell you a story about somebody that I met in the hospital. When I was in the hospital, of course, I was frightened. As a matter of fact, on my way to the hospitals, when the clinic doctors took me there, I had said to them, I said, you know, how many hospitals do you have here? And he said, we have 5. He said, but 3 of them I wouldn't take you to. I go, you know, I was so scared. I can't tell you how scared I was, you know. But I was most grateful my son was in the country with me. The plans were my son was coming the first week. He was leaving. And then my oldest daughter was coming. And then she would leave. And then the youngest daughter would come. So I was really never there by myself, you know, at any time, which I was most grateful. But anyway, so all I could think of is, you know, I want to go home. I want to go home. So when they told me that I had to be operated on, and of course that's all I kept saying, I want to go home. But they were getting me ready for surgery and everything. Then all of a sudden, this man came in, you know, kind of a little robust man, you know, and he put his arms around me and he was hugging me, and I thought, oh dear, you know. And then he said to me, I'm your anesthesiologist. And I said, oh, you know. And he says, I want you to know, he said, that I know you are afraid. And I said, yes, you know. And he said to me, I want you to know, he says, you want to know why I'm bald? And I thought to myself, no, once again, I just want to go home. But anyway, he had said to me he keeps a bald head to honor all cancer patients. And then we got to talking, and he was actually from Chicago, and he talked about, you know, where he learned and you know, and all studied rather, and everything. And he was indicative of the type of treatment that I did get in Mexico. So I wanted to back up my conversation a little bit just to, you know, to tell you about that. Like I said, this has to be an unedited video because I don't know how to edit. Anyway, but I will learn. I will learn as time goes on. Another thing I'm going to be telling you in some of my videos is, in this, some people will probably think, oh, she's crazy, you know. But no, I'm not crazy. I did have an angel appear to me, and I want to share that with you. Between my faith in God, I believe that has gotten me through, you know, through so much, and I hope that, you know, that can help others. I didn't say it at the beginning, but I want to say it now while I think of it, before I forget, because the main reason for me being on this video and for me doing this, because I find this very difficult, is I want to reach out to somebody that needs help, that everybody, so they know that there's hope, you know. And not only that, my video, when we start to talk about supplements and so forth, that can be for anybody. There's a couple supplements that I take that I think everybody should take. You know, healthy. You know, you don't have to be sick, you know, to take them. But anyways, so I am going to be sharing that with you. I also want to make sure you understand that I'm not saying that the alternative medicine way is the only way to go. You do need your traditional, conventional, whatever you want to call it, you know, oncologist to, you know, to help you through this. For me, and I hate to say it this way, but it's so important that you get your test, your blood test and all that type of thing. And if you don't have an oncologist to bounce things off with, you know, and you want to go get these tests on your own, it's expensive. But if you're working with your oncologist and he knows your situation, you know, your insurance will cover so many of these blood tests. When you get these tests back, whether they're blood tests or CAT scans or MRIs or whatever, you really have to read them yourself and try and understand what it's all about. And then, you know, take it to your doctor and, you know, and discuss it with you, with him. But don't think that, you know, that, you know, he's the Almighty and he's going to make you better all by himself. It's not going to happen. You know, in order for you, if you have cancer, in order for you to cure, in my opinion, is half is the medicine and the other half is you. You have to be so aware, so cognizant of your own needs and your body. Everybody's different, and you need this to, and you need you know, an oncologist to share this with. Actually, I can honestly say that I am a doctor's nightmare. I think that when my oncologist comes in the morning and he looks at the list of patients that are coming in that day, and he sees my name, he probably goes, oh, not her, you know. In the beginning, I mean, I know he didn't know what to do with me. It's like, you know, what is she even here for? She seems to think she has all the answers, you know, that kind of thing. But as time has gone on, he totally respects me. He totally respects what I have learned and what I do. As a matter of fact, I think he loves me now. I'll get it straight though. He never told me that. But I do think that he loves me. We see eye to eye. We work together real well for me to live, you know, a healthy life. But anyway, so make sure you get yourself you know, a good oncologist. Let me see. Those are some of the things we'll be talking about. We'll probably be talking about a few more things. I mean, I just say what's on my mind whenever I want to say it. I do post my email address, and feel free to write me. Anybody can write me, ask me any kind of questions they want. I'd be happy to, you know, to answer them. I am on Instagram and Twitter. However, there's really nothing on there. On Twitter, I give a few quotes. I love quotes, you know. I give a few quotes. And Instagram, I just don't totally understand it. Why would we just keep posting pictures? But I'll get around to doing, you know, something like that. My next video, which I hope to post a video every Thursday, my next video will tell you how I discovered my breast cancer. It might be interesting to some, may not be interesting, you know, to others, but it's, you know, it's my story, and that's what I'm here doing. I'm sharing my journey. I'm sharing my stories in the hopes of somebody else. So if you think you know somebody or yourself, whatever, that would benefit from my videos, goodness gracious, you know, you come back, send people to my videos, and I hope to put a smile on some faces, and I hope to help some people. That is my whole objective for being here. So please come back, bring your friends, and until next time, I say to you, be happy.